Another week brings another wave of civil suits against P. Diddy. And this time, the allegations are perhaps the most shocking yet. The Diddy scandal has peeled back the layers of just how dark and twisted the figures at the helm of our culture can be. We've heard reports of disturbing gatherings, some of which even included sleepovers with a young Justin Bieber, along with Diddy's role in funding and managing our favorite celebrities. According to the attorney behind these lawsuits, some celebrities are eager to settle out of court to keep their names out of the headlines. But now, the truth is finally starting to come to light before our very eyes. P. Diddy hardly needs an introduction. Once a towering figure in the music industry, he mingled with some of the most powerful celebrities in the world, including icons like Jay-Z, Beyoncé, Snoop Dogg, Biggie Smalls, and even Justin Bieber. However, recent developments in a high-profile case have unveiled the disturbing underbelly of celebrity culture and the dark realities that often lie beneath the surface. The investigation began in November 2023, when Cassandra "Cassie" Ventura, Diddy's former girlfriend, came forward with serious accusations of misconduct and filed a lawsuit against him. Remarkably, just a day after the suit was filed, they settled out of court. Diddy's lawyer, Ben Braffman, was quick to clarify that the settlement did not constitute an admission of guilt. Following this, Diddy issued a statement wishing Cassie well, seemingly to bolster his image and maintain the narrative of his innocence. In her statement, Cassie expressed gratitude for the support of her friends and family, but the specifics of the settlement remained undisclosed. Diddy may have thought this marked the end of the matter, but it turned out to be just the beginning of a much larger reckoning. The allegations against him started to snowball. Shortly thereafter, 2 additional lawsuits were filed, each revealing further allegations of abuse and misconduct. One of the plaintiffs, Joy Dickerson Neal, recounted a harrowing experience from 1991, claiming that Diddy drugged her after a date when she was a college student and subsequently assaulted her in her own home. Lizard Garter was one of the next individuals to come forward, recounting a harrowing experience where she and a friend were drugged and placed in separate rooms. According to her, P. Diddy and another individual, Aaron H., took turns subjecting them to horrifying acts. To her shock, Lizard later discovered that her friend had endured the same treatment. At the time, Lizard was underage. A few days later, P. Diddy showed up at her house and assaulted her again, this time choking her until she lost consciousness. His anger seemed to stem from the fear that Lizard might confide in his girlfriend about the incidents. In December 2023, another woman stepped forward with even more allegations against him, claiming her involvement in a trafficking situation. She recounted how Harvey Pierre, the president of Combs Bad Boy Records, had flown her from Detroit to New York in 2023. While she was with them, a third man joined P. Diddy and Pierre, and she recalled a disturbing moment when Diddy complained he couldn't finish until his nipples were pinched. The lawsuit included a photograph from that night, showing her sitting on the lap of Charlie Sheen. At the time, she was underage and became the 4th woman to come forward within a matter of weeks. This time, P. Diddy opted not to settle out of court. Instead, he took to Instagram to address the allegations, stating, "Enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation, and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of these awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth." Friends of P. Diddy have pointed out several red flags, especially highlighted during Usher's interview with Howard Stern. During this conversation, Usher subtly hinted that the new allegations might have roots going back to 2016, the year the interview took place. Reflecting on his time living with Diddy for a year in New York City, Usher described being exposed to some unusual situations that, at the time, he didn't fully comprehend. "I moved to New York City and lived with Puff for a year. They sent me to something called Puffy Flavor Camp. That's what it was called. Puff's place was always filled with women and wild parties. At least that's how it felt to me, Usher recounted. But it wasn't like that all the time. It was definitely curious, though. I was only 13 when I experienced that lifestyle. I didn't fully grasp what I was witnessing. It was pretty overwhelming. Looking back now, I realize there were definitely some strange things happening. And it's only now that I see how it connects to the allegations being made. When Howard Stern posed the question to Usher about whether he would ever allow his own son to attend what P Diddy called Puffy Flavor Camp, Usher's response was immediate and emphatic. "Hell no," he stated without hesitation. In a subsequent interview with Rolling Stone in 2024, Usher expanded on his time living with P Diddy, describing an environment that was consistently chaotic and troubling. He recounted instances where he would open a door only to stumble upon various scenes of sexual activity, including orgies taking place in plain sight. "You never really knew what to expect," Usher remarked, reflecting on the unpredictable atmosphere of Diddy's home. This troubling backdrop set the stage for significant legal developments. On February 27, 2024, the producer of P. Diddy's album, The Love Album, filed a shocking $30 million lawsuit against him for assault. The producer alleged that he had been drugged and later woke up in bed with 2 male sex workers and Diddy himself. This lawsuit added another layer of gravity to the already mounting accusations against the music mogul. Furthermore, the lawsuit implicated Diddy's son, Justin, accusing him of bringing underage individuals to the home and drugging them while his father secretly recorded these encounters. In a twist, adult film actor D'Angelo Noel Maris claimed that one of the photographs included in the lawsuit was actually a still from one of his films. While this potential discrediting of evidence could complicate the legal proceedings, it did not diminish the seriousness of the allegations. As the saying goes, where there's smoke, there's fire, and P. Diddy found himself in a frantic effort to extinguish the flames of controversy that were rapidly spreading. With each new accusation, the weight of the allegations against him grew heavier, revealing a troubling pattern of behavior that many had long whispered about, but few had dared to publicly confront. Diddy himself had previously admitted to documenting nearly every aspect of his life, raising concerns that any potential indiscretions could easily have been captured on film. This knowledge undoubtedly instilled fear in some individuals, possibly discouraging them from coming forward with their own stories. Former bodyguard Gene D shed light on some of the more shocking allegations during an interview, suggesting that Diddy engaged in sexual encounters with male escorts, whom his then-girlfriend was allegedly coerced into finding. According to the lawsuit filed against him, the ex-girlfriend claimed that Diddy pressured her to search online for BBCs, an abbreviation for a specific type of male escort, for their intimate encounters. She detailed how Diddy took pleasure in watching her become intimate with these men, asserting that they were not just for her pleasure but also for his. The lawsuit revealed a disturbing dynamic. Diddy required the male escorts to wear masks to conceal their identities from her. Further allegations indicated that during these encounters, all parties, including Diddy, donned masquerade masks, reinforcing his desire to remain anonymous and shrouded in secrecy. This led to a significant escalation in the investigation against him. On March 25, 2024, the Department of Homeland Security executed raids on Diddy's residences in Los Angeles and Miami. The investigation was part of a broader inquiry into trafficking spearheaded by the Southern District of New York, likely prompted by the 5 victims who had come forward, including one male victim who chose to remain anonymous. During the raids, investigators seized multiple firearms and Diddy's phone, which could potentially hold incriminating evidence. Among the more bizarre discoveries, authorities found over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant on the premises. While this might have seemed almost humorous in a different context, in light of the serious charges being levied against him, It only deepened the suspicion surrounding the alleged activities that took place within his circles. These revelations further fueled rampant rumors of extravagant sex parties that reportedly lasted for days, involving intoxicated women and male escorts engaging in a variety of sexual acts. It painted a grim picture of an environment driven by Diddy's seemingly insatiable desires, creating an unsettling narrative of exploitation and debauchery hidden behind the glitz and glamour of celebrity life. During the federal raid on P. Diddy's Los Angeles home, the atmosphere quickly escalated when his sons were placed in handcuffs. Their mother voiced her outrage, claiming that the federal agents had used excessive and unnecessary force. She insisted that their actions were motivated by something other than a standard procedure. But the unfolding investigation revealed a much darker reality behind the glitzy facade of celebrity culture. P. Diddy's infamous parties were already the stuff of legend, and the discovery of over 1,000 bottles of baby oil at these gatherings painted a vivid picture of the chaotic atmosphere he cultivated. Reports emerged detailing that the substances offered at these events were tailored to enhance the experience for attendees, allowing them to engage in prolonged sexual encounters. One drink, ominously dubbed Tusi, was rumored to be laced with various drugs. Jaguar Wright, a singer and outspoken critic of the industry, shed light on these practices in an interview, revealing that P. Diddy often mixed Special K, also known as ketamine, into the concoction. For those unfamiliar, ketamine is a veterinary anesthetic often referred to on the streets as cat, notorious for its use as a tranquilizer for horses. When mixed with cocaine and Viagra, it created a cocktail that counteracted the negative side effects of the drugs while maintaining a euphoric state. Wright described how the cocaine could keep users awake throughout the night, but often led to what she termed a limp noodle effect, where blood flow was restricted, compromising erections. Viagra was purportedly added to ensure that participants could remain aroused despite the numbing effects of the cocaine. Jamie Foxx also spoke candidly about having attended one of these extravagant gatherings, suggesting that it was highly likely that many within the celebrity circles of Los Angeles were privy to these practices. The recent allegations emerging from various sources further corroborated the idea that this culture of excess was not just an anomaly, but rather a widespread issue. The revelations surrounding P. Diddy have taken a disturbing turn, shedding light on the troubling dynamics at play within his world. Recently, CNN aired a shocking video that appeared to corroborate the allegations made by Casey, a woman who had claimed to be a victim of his violent behavior. In the footage, she can be seen attempting to leave a hotel party, her face already marred by a black eye, a clear indication of the violence she had endured. Diddy, clad only in a towel, quickly catches up with her, whereupon he forcefully pushes her down to the ground. The situation escalates as he kicks her twice and attempts to drag her down the hall. In the aftermath of the footage's release, P. Diddy issued a public statement expressing his deep shame over his actions. He acknowledged the difficulty of confronting the darkest moments of one's life, stating, "I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior in that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions. I'm disgusted. Disgusted then, and disgusted now." He claimed to have sought help following the incident. "I went and sought out professional help. I had to enter therapy and go to rehab. I had to ask God for His mercy and grace. I'm truly sorry. But I'm dedicated to becoming a better man every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm genuinely remorseful." The Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office recently issued a statement regarding the disturbing video footage of P. Diddy and the subsequent allegations. While they acknowledged that the video was challenging to view, they clarified that it fell outside the legal time frame for prosecution, limiting their ability to take further action. However, they strongly encouraged anyone with similar experiences to come forward and share their stories. Reports indicate that Diddy took proactive measures to keep the footage from becoming public. allegedly paying the hotel $50,000 to ensure its confidentiality. Tragically, this video is the only incident captured on surveillance that has surfaced in the public eye. Yet Casey's lawsuit reveals a much darker narrative filled with horrific accusations that speak to the trauma she endured while navigating the music industry. According to Casey, Diddy frequently exhibited explosive anger, making her the primary target of his violent outbursts. Whenever they went into the bedroom and closed the door, I could only hear the sounds of screaming and shouting. I felt compelled to grab her belongings and pack them up, all in an effort to get her to safety, she recounted. Casey further alleged that Diddy would drug her and compel her to engage in intimate acts with other men while he watched, filmed, and participated in his own way. This troubling practice, referred to as a freak-off, has been mentioned in connection with other disturbing accounts involving Diddy. She also revealed that when she attempted to leave the relationship in 2018, the situation escalated dangerously, resulting in a near-fatal overdose. Casey also revealed that she and Kiki had briefly embarked on a romantic relationship. However, when P Diddy discovered their connection, he allegedly issued a chilling threat, claiming he would set his car ablaze and insisted that Kid Cudi be present when it happened. Although many might have dismissed this as an empty threat, it soon proved to be a grim reality. Just 2 weeks later, Kid Cudi's vehicle was indeed set on fire. This troubling incident unfolded at a particularly precarious moment for Diddy, as he was already under investigation. The mounting pressure only intensified as more women came forward with their own allegations, prompting a broader examination of Diddy's actions. Even men, like Michigan inmate Derek Lee Smith, began to make their voices heard, with Smith suing Diddy for a staggering $100 million. In his lawsuit, he alleged that during a 1997 party in Detroit, he was subjected to inappropriate touching and assault by Diddy. Notably, Diddy did not appear in court to defend himself against these serious claims. As the floodgates opened, it became clear that Diddy was at the center of a much larger web of allegations, hinting at a pervasive culture of misconduct within the Hollywood elite. Eminem, known for his bold lyrics, added fuel to the fire with a line in his Killshot diss track aimed at Machine Gun Kelly. In a surprising twist, he referenced Diddy in connection with Tupac's tragic murder, rapping, "K was the day you put out hits, the day Diddy admits that he put the hit out that got Tupac killed." Following this provocative line, he quickly added, "I'm just playing, Diddy. You know I love you. You know." While concrete evidence remains elusive, there's speculation that Eminem isn't holding back when it comes to addressing P. Diddy in his lyrics. The rapper's record label, Bad Boy Records, is the same one that has found itself in the crosshairs of rising star Machine Gun Kelly, MGK, who has been openly critical of Eminem. However, Eminem's critique of Diddy extends beyond just casual jabs. In tracks like Antichrist, he references the troubling footage involving Diddy and Casey, mocking what he suggests might have been the rapper's motives for pursuing her. In another song, Fuel, Eminem touches on the allegations surrounding Diddy, hinting that he may have had a hand in orchestrating the demise of Tupac's alleged assailant. This exploration continues in the track Bad, where he provocatively suggests that Diddy might have been involved in the act of blowing up Kiki's car. The intensity of these claims struck such a nerve that Diddy publicly demanded an apology from Eminem, expressing that the rapper had crossed a line and was inflicting significant damage on his public image. Given the current climate of allegations and scrutiny, Diddy's concerns may not be unfounded. Eminem's fan base is vast and fiercely loyal, eagerly dissecting his every word, especially when it pertains to the darker undercurrents of the music industry and Hollywood's elusive elite. Many fans trust that Eminem's lyrics stem from genuine experiences, lending credence to the troubling narratives surrounding Diddy, who once embodied the power and influence of a music mogul. Looking back to 1999, various testimonies suggest that Diddy narrowly escaped serious legal consequences following a notorious incident at a nightclub. During a visit with his then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez, an altercation erupted with Matthew Scar Allen when Diddy knocked a drink from his hand, igniting a chaotic confrontation. In the ensuing fray, both Diddy and Allen drew weapons, firing into the crowd. Although 3 people survived this harrowing event, one survivor, Natanya Rubin, stands out with a chilling account of the night. She claims to have witnessed Diddy pull the trigger while another individual shot into the ceiling. Tragically, she was struck in the face during the gunfire. "I watched them both fire their guns. I watched them, and that's how I ended up here today," she recounted, emphasizing the recklessness of individuals fueled by unchecked egos and aggression in a packed nightclub. Her testimony remained steadfast, so much so that she offered to undergo surgery to retrieve bullet fragments from her skull to serve as forensic evidence. Despite this compelling testimony, Diddy ultimately faced no repercussions for his actions. Instead, his associate Sean Combs was sentenced to a decade behind bars for the incident. Once again, it appeared that Diddy managed to manipulate the situation from behind the scenes, evading the consequences that had ensnared others. Rodney's lawsuit brought to light alarming revelations about P. Diddy's intimidating tactics. According to Rodney, Diddy would boast about having gotten away with violent acts in the past, brandishing firearms as a means to instill fear and maintain control over those around him. This chilling behavior was not just an isolated incident. As more testimonies emerged, a troubling narrative began to unfold, one that painted a dark portrait of what it takes to navigate the treacherous waters of celebrity culture. Diddy seemed to epitomize the darker aspects of fame, showcasing the lengths to which some individuals will go to preserve their power and influence. His apparent clumsiness and missteps only heightened the scrutiny, and as he became increasingly detested within the industry, the facade began to crumble, exposing a much deeper issue. The question lingered: how many others, perhaps far more cunning, were engaging in similar or even more egregious behavior behind the scenes? As the investigation deepened, 2 more victims stepped forward with harrowing accounts of their experiences with Diddy. Model Crystal McKinn recalled meeting him at a fashion event in 2003, where he expressed interest in her career. What began as an offer of support quickly devolved into a horrifying encounter. After luring her to his studio, he provided her with alcohol and boasted about the superior quality of his marijuana, saying, "You've never had weed like this before." Under the influence, McKinn became disoriented, leading Diddy to take her into a bathroom where he coerced her into compromising situations. She later found herself waking up in a cab, disoriented but fortunate enough to retain memories of the traumatic events. Determined to seek justice, she preserved her clothing in plastic for potential forensic evidence. Yet the shadow of Diddy's power loomed large, causing her to delay filing her lawsuit until May 2024. Another victim, April Lampros, revealed a much longer history of abuse, dating back to 1994 when she first crossed paths with Diddy. Initially offering mentorship in her pursuit of a fashion career, Diddy's intentions quickly morphed into predatory behavior. Over a span of 6 to 7 years, Lampros endured multiple incidents of assault. Each time she resisted his advances, Diddy's fury escalated, creating an atmosphere of fear that left her feeling compelled to comply. In a particularly invasive breach of trust, he recorded their encounters without her consent and shared the footage with others, wielding it as leverage to maintain control over her. Lampros described the suffocating sense of vulnerability she experienced, knowing that Diddy could ruin her career at any moment. Years later, when she encountered him again, he expressed remorse for his past behavior. However, it didn't take long for the familiar patterns to resurface as he attempted to draw her back into his orbit. Lampros ultimately disclosed that Diddy had a history of threatening his victims, warning them that he would expose the sensitive recordings he had made if they refused to acquiesce to his demands. This manipulation further illustrated the toxic environment that Diddy cultivated, where fear and intimidation kept many from speaking out and seeking justice. In a past appearance on Conan's late-night show, P. Diddy made a comment that, at the time, elicited laughter from the audience, but now raises significant concerns when viewed through the lens of recent events. In a seemingly light-hearted moment, he remarked, "I don't know if you guys have noticed this. A lot of ladies drink water at parties, so if you don't have what they need, they're going to leave. You need locks on the doors." While the audience chuckled, the implication behind his words is profoundly unsettling in light of the serious allegations that have since emerged. On September 16, 2024, P. Diddy was arrested in a Manhattan hotel, facing serious charges, including sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, and facilitating transportation for prostitution. His legal team asserted that he intended to surrender voluntarily, claiming he was prepared to cooperate. However, they argued he wasn't given the opportunity to do so. Diddy attempted to prove he was not a flight risk by saying he had surrendered his passport. Yet it turned out that he had merely handed it over to his lawyer and not to the federal authorities. This detail was crucial, as it illustrated his effort to secure bail by indicating he would not flee the country. However, these maneuvers were in vain, as the judge denied his request for bail. Just 2 days later, on September 18th, his legal team made a renewed attempt to secure his release by offering a staggering $50 million, but this plea was also rejected. The implications of his arrest are severe. If convicted, P. Diddy faces the prospect of spending the rest of his life behind bars. The lengthy list of charges against him includes not just trafficking, but also forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. In the latest developments, 2 new lawsuits have been filed against Sean Diddy Combs, accusing the music mogul of serious misconduct. Both lawsuits, submitted in New York, involve allegations from individuals who were minors at the time of the purported incidents. One of the lawsuits claims that the alleged victim was just 10 years old at the time, while the other involves a teenage boy who was auditioning for the popular MTV reality series Making the Band, which Diddy produced. In a statement to the BBC, representatives for Mr. Combs firmly denied the allegations, asserting that he has never assaulted or trafficked anyone, man or woman, adult or minor. In recent months, more than 24 lawsuits have emerged against him, alleging a range of offenses, including inappropriate behavior, drugging individuals, underage incidents, intimidation, and coercive actions. Additionally, the rapper is currently facing federal criminal charges linked to alleged trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, to which he has pleaded not guilty. The 2 lawsuits filed on Monday were brought by attorney Tony Busby, who has stated that he represents over 100 alleged victims and intends to file numerous lawsuits against Mr. Combs in the upcoming weeks. In the first lawsuit, filed anonymously, the plaintiff claims that Mr. Combs had inappropriate encounters with him in 2005 when he was an aspiring actor and rapper. To help their son pursue his dreams in the entertainment industry, the boy's parents sought the guidance of an industry consultant who recommended traveling to New York for meetings with music professionals. During this trip, the consultant arranged an audition with Mr. Combs, who requested a private meeting with the young boy, as stated in the lawsuit. According to the complaint, the consultant brought the boy to Mr. Combs's hotel room where he was left alone. The boy performed several rap songs for Mr. Combs, who allegedly encouraged him, saying he had the potential to become a star. The lawsuit claims Mr. Combs asked how committed the boy was to his dreams, to which the boy replied that he would do anything. During the meeting, a third individual offered the boy a soda that made him feel funny. At the time, the plaintiff thought the sensation was simply due to excitement over the meeting, according to the lawsuit. It is alleged that Mr. Combs then made inappropriate demands of the boy. When the boy resisted, the lawsuit claims he was assaulted. The plaintiff also states that Mr. Combs warned him not to tell anyone, threatening to harm his parents if he did. In the second lawsuit, another unnamed male claims he was assaulted by Mr. Combs in 2008 when he was underage and auditioning for the MTV reality competition produced by Mr. Combs. During the audition process, the plaintiff alleges that Mr. Combs questioned him about how he would deal with situations involving unwanted pressure. The lawsuit states that Mr. Combs and his bodyguard subsequently forced the teen into unwelcome acts. Mr. Combs is currently being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York, following his arrest on federal charges in September. He has been denied bail and will remain in custody until his trial, set for May. He has denied all allegations against him. His representative stated, "Mr. Combs and his legal team have full confidence in the facts and the integrity of the judicial process. If convicted of racketeering, he could potentially face life in prison." Reports indicate that Diddy and his associates engaged in efforts to silence witnesses through financial incentives, attempting to bury the truth. Gone are the days of lavish parties, luxury cars, and mingling with some of the most prominent names in music. Instead, Diddy now finds himself confined to a stark prison cell, a stark contrast to the opulent lifestyle he once led. The Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, where P. Diddy is currently held, has a notorious reputation, often described as a hellish environment. This is the same facility that housed R. Kelly, who faced similar allegations, and it was previously home to Mr. Jeffrey before his tragic passing. Following the denial of his second bail appeal, P. Diddy has been placed on suicide watch. His legal team is contesting this decision, maintaining their belief in his innocence. However, it's rumored that the prosecution has a strong case and feels confident that their investigation will lead to a conviction. No matter how this unfolds, it's clear that P. Diddy's career is essentially over. The revelations about his actions have been deeply disturbing, and the truth continues to unravel. Business partners and former associates have hurriedly distanced themselves from him. Many have even gone so far as to delete old tweets to create some separation. Despite his claims of innocence, skepticism surrounds his statements, and trust in him is at an all-time low. Interestingly, many celebrities seem hesitant to speak out against P. Diddy, likely fearing the implications of the evidence that authorities might have. Reports suggest that Justin Bieber has been so taken aback by the gravity of the situation that he's chosen to remain silent. With videos of their past collaborations resurfacing, it appears Justin is in a state of shock. Once a fan of the music mogul, he now seems to regret working with him on his latest album, hinting that there may be much more to this story than meets the eye. Recent revelations suggest that P. Diddy may have financed Bad Boy Records through nefarious means, allegedly using food and drinks to incapacitate guests before recording them to leverage against influential figures in the industry. Castle Black has made these claims, stating he has been holding on to this knowledge for some time. This entire scandal serves as a stark reminder of the unsettling realities within the celebrity world, where those pulling the strings often manipulate everyone involved. For those who don't conform to the expectations of these powerful players, the risk of being compromised is ever present, obscuring the truth behind the glitz and glamour. However, with each new piece of evidence that emerges, people are starting to awaken to the darker aspects of the entertainment industry, realizing just how troubling it can be.